Mile 22 is an action thriller starring Mark Wahlberg, Iko Uwais, Lauren Cohan, Ronda Rousey and John Malkovich. It was written by Lee Carpenter and directed by Peter Berg, who has teamed up with Mark Wahlberg a few times before. This time around, Wahlberg plays an American Black Ops agent, James Silva. As always, he is a tough, no-nonsense guy who won't put up with anything that he doesn't want to. Silva also leads a team of agents under a group called Overwatch, who are highly trained and also quite volatile. The team is tasked with extracting and protecting Iko Uwais' character Lee Noor, a rogue cop who has access to information about a dangerous material cesium that can kill thousands of people. This team is overseen by Bishop, played by the ever-so-reliable John Malkovich, who does his Malkovich thing. It's a bit strange to see him with a wig, so his trademark bald look is compromised, but that's really the smallest problem with this film. Now, if you're not familiar with Iko Uwais, you need to know some of his brilliant work in the Raid films. Uwais is a trained martial artist, stuntman and fight choreographer, and it's not a far stretch to call him the modern-day Jackie Chan. Okay, that's really high praise, but seriously, watch him in the Raid 1 and 2 and you'll see where I'm coming from. The reason I'm stressing so much about Uwais is because he's the best thing about this film. Not only do we get to see some of his fantastic martial arts skills, he also manages to be the most interesting character of the lot as a mysterious cop gone rogue. Sadly, his fight scenes and choreography is completely muddled by choppy and jumpy editing. I don't understand the logic behind putting an action star who is more than capable of showcasing his skills on camera and then taking all that footage and cutting it in a way that's hard to see what's going on. It's almost as if the edit team didn't know how to follow the choreography. It's seriously appalling. Unfortunately, this is one of the many strange decisions taken by Peter Berg on this film. There's Ronda Rousey, another highly trained mixed martial artist and now pro wrestler, who's given zero hand-to-hand fight scenes in this film. So then, why do you even need her in the first place? In fact, Lauren Cohan is tasked with more of those and is pretty decent at it. Continuing the series of letdowns in this film is Mark Wahlberg, whose character is supposed to be an abrasive man with a series of character flaws, and I'm sure both actor and director wanted to portray him as an anti-hero whom you root for because he's such a lovable rogue. Silva goes off on these rants that are supposed to capture the mindset and intensity of what happens during a mission, which is an interesting premise in itself. But Wahlberg isn't able to convey any of that, and the whole approach comes off as a pretentious and pointless filler in between the action scenes. Wahlberg's portrayal of Silva is obnoxious, nasty, and he's someone you wouldn't really want to succeed. Talk about a massive misfire which turns out to be a big problem with such an ambitious film. I say ambitious because this film is clearly inspired by the Bourne series and seeks to set up a similar world, even leading up to a franchise. That's not a problem per se because the story has an interesting twist in the end with a surprisingly intriguing motive. However, it's a problem when you aren't invested in the film's lead characters, or at least not in the way the film intends you to be. Mile 22 ends up being neither here nor there, failing to engage with its action and not allowing us to connect to the people we should be caring about. The only reason worth checking out this movie is for Iko Uwais, and even he's not allowed to shine the way he deserves to be. It's a waste of what could have been an interesting world to get into with a fun blend of armed and unarmed combat. Sadly, we don't quite get either, which is why I'm going with an average 2.5 stars for Mile 22. Guys, if you have watched Mile 22 or even the Raid films, do leave a comment below to let me know what you think. And as always, tune into It's Entertainment, which brings you reviews of the latest films along with interviews of your favorite stars. Only on Mirror Now, you first.